start the meeting. As people just slowly come in, we'll just get them up to speed. So I would like to say welcome to our who knows how many Zoom meeting. We are just chugging along with this virtual meetings. We'll have some information later for the club on physical locations and stuff like that, but we'll keep that till later. So right now I want to open it up to guests and new members. I know that we have had some new members join. Jeanette, would you like to read out those new people? And I don't think they're here, but at least know who they are.
Oh boy, put me on the spot. Let me find my report here. That's okay. All right, we got John and Dustin Ross and Lisa and Phil Baker have joined our club. If you read the Transaxle Telegraph last month, I was able to get some fun information about them and put that in the newsletter. I know Gail's not on. She must not have been able to join, but she was asking on our board meeting if we could get photos of cars or get pictures of people who are new to join. So we're going to try to get pictures so that we get to meet people that are joining, because we're not meeting in person. It'd be nice to get to know people. So we'll try to do that. We have some folks. We have Kent Plemons is on. We haven't heard him on in a meeting for a while. I see Steve Harkins coming in. Jack and Judy Sheedy are on. That might be one of your first Zoom meetings. So it's great to see people feeling comfortable joining in by Zoom.
Yes.
And
Looks like we're getting
joining from the link in the Telegraph. I have Chromium Edge as my default browser, and it gave me an error, said that there was something for the site. And so I had to just go to zoom.com, put in the meeting number and the password to join that way.
Oh, but you were able to do it then?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not heard of that problem with Chrome, so.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Jeanette,
Yes.
can you tell me how to switch to active speaker? That's what it's telling me to do. I don't know how to get it.
You're on an iPad. If you tap the iPad, you should see the menu bar pop up. You able to get the
top,
Okay,
it
and then on the
it says mute, start video,
share
content, participants, and more.
Yeah. I don't know why it's asking you to be active speaker since you are able to speak. You could start your video through that.
Well, I don't know. I can see you. I guess that's all that matters.
Well, just hit the start video.
Start video, I think.
Yeah, just hit start video.
We can't see you.
Yeah, I can.
There we go.
Speaking from
All
the,
right.
Hey, okay.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic.
Okay, Carolyn Wispel is having trouble getting in, so I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to help her get in.
Okay, I will take it from there. Cookie Monster. I know that. Cookie Monster. If you grab your coffee, grab your snacks, grab whatever you want. You are your own personal Cookie Monster this month. So hopefully you got something good, because right now all I got are Chex Mix.
I'm sure I'm missing those cookies.
So hopefully we'll be back to physical meetings and Cookie Monsters soon. Like I said, we'll update the club on that a little bit later.
So I'm getting Popeyes.
Oh, nice. Secretary Pipeline. Are we able to pull that up, or are we still trying to help Carolyn get in? Can we?
All right, I will do that right now. Hang on.
Okay. And then we'll have Sandra just read out that pipeline.
And what do you want? The board meeting minutes?
No, the pipeline.
Oh, pipeline. Here we go. 1 second, please. Sorry.
Nope, you're
Wrong
good.
one. Got two people texting me at the same time here looking for the link. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me share this for you. All right. And 1 second. Share October filler pipe. There we go. Okay. Sandra, sorry
There
about that.
we go. No, you're good. Sandra, do you just want to go ahead and read out these names for us real quick? Oh, you're on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Going back to February, Harold Layer and Alan Sheeg. And April is Diane Richardson. Due in May, we had John Baker, Steve Kirkton, and Charles McFarland. In June, Charles Fernandez, Othello Gum Marsh, Todd Marsh, Micah Richardson. Get down. In August, we had James Bauer, Michael Miller, Ken Richardson. Is that all?
Look, scroll down.
I need to scroll
Is that
down.
it? No.
There we go.
Okay, where was I?
Go back
Go
up just a little bit.
All right. And okay, Josh Wall. Now, September, we have John D'Angelo, Brad Gresham, James Harkel, Kernan Kierman, Arianti, I think, Larry Schmuel. Due this month in October, Robert Davignon,
Sorry.
Philip Mendershausen, Gary Parsley, Michael Rayleigh, Thomas Ratliff, Corbin Taylor, Linda Turnbull, Bill Wells, Elizabeth Wells, Donna Baker, Sam Baker, Steve Harkins, Ron Hillier, Dan Mulligan Sr., Freeman Spencer. I believe that's it.
Yep.
All right.
I'm just going to add
That's
a
long
comment.
time list.
Yeah, I'll just add a comment that everyone knows that what we committed to do was not drop anybody because we're not able to meet in person, and we were hoping to give people a chance to pay in person. And since our Zoom meetings are continuing out much later in the year than we thought, we'd really appreciate if people could pay their dues to stay current. I have been reaching out to the folks that are up here further in the list earlier in the year and have commitments from several that are going to pay. So if your name's on the list, you've got a couple of different ways to pay. Number one, mail in a check. I do go to the post box periodically, or use the Venmo account, NTCA payment, or reach out to me. I'll figure out another way to get your money. The club doesn't do PayPal, but I'll help you get your money in. So please, let's try to keep current.
So we could just send a check to the P.O. box.
Yes.
That's good, because I could use electronic bill pay and it would just generate a check.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
I try to go to the box once a week, maybe every other week. I was kind of kicking myself. We drove all the way over there yesterday, and we get out of the car, and damn it, I forgot the key. So,
Oh.
so we'll go over again tomorrow, maybe.
All right. We'll just continue on down to our Vice President, Jason, where he will update us on the programs for this month.
All right, so the program this month is going to be where and how to sell your Corvair, especially with a lot of stuff moving to online like we're doing. What information is useful in there, what information is not useful, things like that. So from here, we possibly have 1, maybe 2 months of programs left. And I'm really wanting some people to step up and do those last 2 programs. So I'm going to ask for volunteers. If I don't get volunteers, then I'm going to start reaching out to people and assigning you a month. Because we need people to start participating a lot more. Yeah, I get that we can't meet in person anymore right now and things like that. But we need people to participate.
All right. And real quick, for future months, in terms of activities and programs, real quick, we're looking at doing some things differently, possibly combining our meeting program and activity for the month of November. But we'll keep the club updated as we get things finalized or things figured out. But we'll definitely keep the club updated. We're trying to find ways to where we can be physically available, physically show, but also doing something fun while we're doing it. So with that, we'll just go straight to the treasurer's report.
Yep.
Jeanette?
I'll just talk through the treasurer report so I don't have to try to flip back and forth. Treasurer's report is, again, very simple this month. We haven't had a lot of expenses. Certainly in the month of October, we're normally, if we were in a normal non-first 2020 year, we would be very busy preparing for our weekend of racing in, well, it'd be somewhere for Heritage Days, so we'd have a lot of money moving around. But we have our folks are paying dues, as I mentioned before, to new members. We have a possible third new member. I'm just waiting for him to pay. So people are finding us on our website. It's been really great that we see people that are sending in their new membership on the website. So if you interact with people that have Corvairs and are not members of the club, it's really, really easy to join through the website. And again, easy ways to pay. So we've had a couple of new members join, and we've had one outlay, which was our post office box rental, which I did pay in the month of September. However, the post office hasn't received my check, which was mailed on September 10th. And so I went to the post office and paid it in person. And so who knows, maybe they'll get it and cash it and we'll be paid up in advance. So the post office doesn't get their own money very quickly, I guess. So again, good shape. We just don't have a lot going on with the club expenses right now.
That's pretty bad when they lose their own mail, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I know I mailed it, and I'm very careful about always putting the return address sticker on the envelope, because sometimes stuff gets lost, it doesn't get back to you, or you can't deliver it. But I noticed when I was doing the treasurer's report the other day that they hadn't cashed the check, and then later in the day, Susan gets the email from the post office, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know I paid this. So anyhow, we'll be paid up. We won't lose our box. And that's it.
That's always important. We'll be going back to Jason to update us kind of a little bit on the activity for this month.
All right. So the activity this month is going to be a drive-in movie at the Galaxy Drive-In in Ennis. That will be on the 17th of October, which is right dead in the middle. The only thing that information-wise that's not on the website currently and on Facebook will be the time that we're going to meet and the movie, because around this time of year, they switch from showing the movies at night about 6:30 because the sun goes down a lot sooner. So I want to make sure that they don't switch that on us, so that I haven't put a time for us to meet yet. We will meet in Hutchins, which is just right outside of downtown Dallas. I found a nice spot for us to all meet together in a nice big parking lot. And then we'll drive from there, which will be a straight shot down to our exit and everything like that. So there shouldn't be any way anyone will get too horribly lost if they do. So we'll meet, we'll go and go from there. So just watch Facebook and watch the website for an update of which movie and the time that we're going to meet. I'm going to try and pick as a family-friendly movie as possible. It just, like I said, depends on what they're going to show, which they normally try and show as family-friendly as they can. So just watch the website and watch Facebook for that.
All right. Hope a lot of people are excited for that. Who knows? It may be a Halloween-themed movie. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
Jason, just remind people they may need to bring a radio or something. I think they broadcast it over
Correct.
FM. Yeah.
They do broadcast it over FM. Actually, I was just about to restate that. Also, I've put the link for the Drive-In Movie Theater website on there. Please go and read the rules that they have for COVID and stuff like that right now. They're not really wanting people to congregate outside their cars too much, and things like that. So please go and read their rules. The link is on the website. You can just click on it, go straight to their website. I've also put hotels, a link to different hotels and stuff in that area. So if you don't want to drive back, you can do that as well.
I take it they have no speakers like the old days.
Mm-mm.
They do not. It's only FM.
Okay.
It does say on their website, outside food is temporarily permitted at this time.
Yeah, they let you bring coolers and stuff.
Yeah.
Last time we did this, I can't remember where it was. It was during Hot in Granbury, I thought. And you could bring an FM radio. We brought an FM, portable radio because we didn't have FM in the car.
Yes, I was at that movie too, and the old speakers were a lot better than their FM signal at that place. I remember it may have been AM. I don't remember which one, but I know the sound wasn't too good at that theater.
Yeah, Ennis is FM, and I've never had a problem with their sound. It's actually been pretty good.
All right.
My youngest daughter's been there a couple of times recently, so I'll ask her for some pointers.
Inside pointers.
Yep.
All right. And then, like I said, we're looking at possibly changing up the way we do the activities and programs and meetings for the last 2 months of this year. We're thinking about combining them all into one day, especially because the way Thanksgiving and Christmas fall this year, they're kind of right on that third week. So we're thinking of just combining everything into one day. But like I said, we're trying to figure out ways to where we can do something where we can physically meet, but also be socially distanced and everything. So like I said, we will keep you posted. Hopefully we will have some news about that soon. And then with activities done, we'll just go straight into tech tip. Does anybody have a tech tip? Oh, Mike, Dobie, you're on mute.
I have a couple quick ones. I was playing with front suspensions the other day, mix and match of front suspension parts I had. What I had never realized is there's a difference in a 65 front suspension and a 66 later front suspension, and that is in the brakes. Sometime, I guess before 66, they decided that little post that holds the brake shoes at the top of your brakes to make it bigger, a bigger thread in 66. So they made it a bigger thread, but they made it a smaller hole. So anyway, that stud at the top of the brake is you can't mix and match those parts from 65 to 66. It's kind of interesting. So the backing plate's got to be 65 to go with the little pivot stud that goes in the top. But I thought that was kind of funny. It kind of mixed me up. I was getting parts ready to get powder coated, and luckily I checked and discovered that. I didn't know. One other thing I wanted to say is I use this stuff called cast coat or rebuilders cast finish. And this, I've tried a couple different ones, but this one right here, which is made by Plastic Coat, I swear you can paint like a master cylinder. If you have a brand new master cylinder and you paint with this, you can't tell you painted it. It looks exactly the same. Some of the other doesn't look quite the same to me, but this, I use this to paint any of the cast parts. Like when we should have done Corbin's master cylinder last week, we changed it, but we were in a hurry. But you see those things, those cast parts like master cylinders, you're looking at some cars, and it'll be nothing but a solid rust. So if you paint it with this, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to find. It's funny, a lot of these stores have all quit carrying Plastic Coat. They've all gone to what's the other brand? Paint. Anyway.
Duplicolor?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so last time I was looking for this, I just went online someplace and typed in Plastic Coat, and I bought a couple cans.
Yeah.
But they make a cast finish, and they also make an aluminum finish. They're both very good. And they hold up good too. But that's what I paint transmission cases, differential cases, into some of the cast suspension parts. I use that. It makes it look really nice. That's all.
Does that resist the brake fluid?
Yeah, it's pretty tough stuff. Of course, I only use silicone brake fluid anyway, so any paint will withstand that. Just makes it shiny. But that's a whole nother subject, though.
What's it called again, Mike?
Oh, the paint?
Yeah.
It's called Plastic Coat is the brand, Kote, and it's called Rebuilders Cast Finish.
Plastikote.
Yep.
Plastic Coat. How cute. Plastic Coat. Okay, there you go. You got it. Okay. He's Googling it.
I know Eastwood used to make some stuff, or probably still does, but I don't know if anybody's tried their stuff.
The only one I've tried lately is the gold that they sell for the tops of carburetors. And it was terrible. What I used years ago was it looked pretty good, but gasoline would wash it off.
Yeah.
I said, that's really not a good thing for the tops of carburetors, because particularly with the 140, invariably you're going to have one of them leak the first time you pressurize it. So it kind of messed up my painted top, so I fussed at it. So they came out with a new improved one that was supposed to be resistant to gasoline. So I bought some of that last year, and it looked awful. It just looked like beige paint. It didn't look anything like. So I called them up and fussed at them. They said, "Oh yeah, that was a bad lot of paint. We're sending your money back. Just throw it away." So they didn't offer it, and I haven't checked lately to see if they're offering. They said we're working on a new supplier to do that carburetor paint, but we don't have one right now. So they may have another one. They knew it was bad. The last batch they got, it just looked awful. So I haven't tried their cast finishes, but I've tried a couple of brands, and this one's the best that I've tried.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very interesting.
I think Jason's looking for a tech tip. He's looking for an engine.
I don't know if that's considered a tech tip or a saving.
Oh, tech tip.
You're still looking for one?
Jason, you're still looking for an engine, right?
I'm really looking for like a 110.
What?
110 or 95.
You looking for one to build, or?
Hopefully one that I can drop in and drive.
Oh, drop and drive.
Hey,
Well,
Jason, out of 110 and a 69, that should be an okay engine to drive.
What I'm sorry, you said you had a what?
A 110 and a 69.
Okay.
It's in the car.
Okay.
The guy in Plano built it.
Okay. I'll get your actually. I'll call you after this because you're in the directory. So I'll get your information from there and I'll call you in.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, if you have
Yeah.
another 5 or coupe come available, give me a shout.
When a coupe comes available?
If you have a 140 coupe of any year come available, give me a shout, but not a project, not a major project.
Oh,
Too late.
Ray has one he might be interested in selling.
I don't know if I can afford it once it passes through Ray's hands.
He hasn't put much in it, Jack. No paint yet.
Okay. Corvair count. Like always, if you look outside and you see a Corvair, or you know you have a Corvair somewhere in the universe, it counts.
Does it count if you drove it on the National Drive Your Corvair Day?
Well, I would say yes if you documented it, because like 2020 always says now, picture or it didn't happen. So, and I think noises count as well.
Oh, he documented it.
No, but
It's all over Facebook.
oh yeah, we know. But definitely send your photos from yesterday, since it was National Drive Your Corvair Day. Definitely send those photos to our newsletter, to Gail for our newsletter, because we'd love to see those.
Just post it on Facebook, and she can grab it off Facebook too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason had the pictures and the noises.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only because he doesn't have an engine.
Audio
Well, it sounded like he did.
Well, that's why I made sure Ray's had an engine noise, that it actually was running.
Yep. It was pretty funny video, I do have to say. Well, we are pretty much chugging along. We are at the point of open forum. So just as a reminder, if you have anything, just make sure you wave or something so we can call on you, so that there's not just a bunch of people trying to scream into the camera all at once. And then if you have a comment, just kind of wave and we'll kind of point you out. And so that way we're just controlling all this. So I see Robert already has his hand up, so go ahead.
I have a tech question for anybody that can answer it. On my 63 convertible, I have silicone brake fluid. I have new wheel cylinders. I have new master cylinder. Everything is clean and new brake shoes, the whole mess. But every time I park that car, it sits for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I get in it and drive it. I'll step on the brakes and it'll grab and it'll pull one side or the other. And after you drive it a while, it seems to kind of loosen up and be all right. But the next time you go out there and drive it, it'll skid the tire on one or the other side, and it does it randomly. I was just wondering if anybody else has that problem, or I don't have any leaks in the wheel cylinders or anything. It's just like they just kind of get stuck or something. I don't know what it is. Anybody had that happen?
Well, we have it happen with Corvettes, and it's rust in the brake drums.
Well, I guess that could be. A long time that, my automatic adjusters were not working, so I would try to adjust the one that's grabbing back and the one that wasn't grabbing forward, tighter. And then one time I just loosened both of the front wheel adjusters back and let it set itself, and that works sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know what it is. I don't think it's adjusters, really. I read articles that say if whichever way it's pulling, the one that's not pulling that direction is the one that's not working, obviously. But I don't know if it's in the wheel cylinder or in the adjustment. So just wondering.
Corbin says just to drive it more.
Well, that's probably true. That's probably what it is.
My load side does the same thing. But, you know, I just know it. So when I drive down the driveway, I just kind of put them on easy. And then the time I get out the road, it's ready to go.
You know, on those self-adjusting brakes, they self-adjust in reverse. Like when you're backing up is when they adjust. And so a lot of times I'll kind of back up and really hit the brakes hard, you know, trying to make them adjust. And
Okay.
That doesn't always work.
This is Ken here. I just joined. Okay, and I may have the answer for you. Okay.
All right.
I had a similar problem. Okay. Hey, and what I found after trying everything else, I did some checking, and the brake hoses close up. And if one of them closed up, that will cause the problem. So if you haven't done it, I'd change out the front brake hoses.
Well, they are good. I say they're not new. They're probably they're 3 or 4 years old now.
They should be good. That's
what would cause one to collapse? Just age?
They just close up. The rubber ones, they just close up eventually.
Okay.
Have you looked at maybe paint on your backing plates? Maybe paint's getting stuck if you've repainted your backing plate, or grooves in your backing plate?
Well, I haven't looked. I painted every part on that car, so that could be, I guess. But it goes from one side to the other. I don't, you know, a brake cylinder that's working properly should not have anything stop it from working, you know, with all that pressure that it has. But it seems like maybe the plungers or the cylinders in the wheel cylinder may be sticking or something like that. Anyway,
how about the little areas on the backing plate where the shoes slide on the backing plate? It's got 3 little pads there. You're supposed to put a little grease on those.
Oh, okay.
You might make sure those have a little bit of grease on them. But that could be, you know, one of the shoes. Because I've had them where they were actually worn, like he said, where that thing is worn and groove in there, and then the brake shoe doesn't slide on the backing plate like it should.
So it doesn't, the springs can't pull it all the way back. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or when you put it, or either that or when you step on the brake, it sort of hangs in the little groove or gets stuck to the backing plate a little bit, is what I'm thinking. I just know, I have seen those I wouldn't use because the backing plate had a groove worn in them. They say, that little area is supposed to put a little bit of grease on it, and obviously it doesn't last forever. Then it starts wearing that little thing.
Yeah, I never do that. I never have done that. So that's
you never put a dab of grease on them?
No.
If you look, the little spots where the brake shoes are supposed to touch, it's got a little design almost stamped in it. It's sort of supposed to hold a little grease.
No, that's something I haven't done. I wondered about weak springs or something like that wasn't pulling them all the way off or back into the cylinder and allowing it to be, easier to push.
Yeah.
That pad shouldn't have any paint on it either. It should be just bare steel.
Yes.
I never cleaned it. I never cleaned it at all. But that's probably a good idea.
Do a lot of you use silicone brake fluid or .3 or 4?
I use nothing but .5 silicone.
Okay.
I never had a problem with it.
That's what I have too. It doesn't seem like it has quite the pressure qualities of .4, but that may not be that important on a Corvair. I don't know.
What I noticed just last week was they have the .4, .3, .4, and they're calling it synthetic brake fluid now, which I'm not sure what that is. I need to research it, but I never saw Corbin had a jar of it. It has he bought was .34 synthetic brake fluid. And I never saw it use the word synthetic brake fluid. I don't know if anybody knows what that means, but well, that's supposed to be an improvement over the old .34 we used to use. But I always use .5.
Well, it may be an improvement. However, it ought to have the same qualities as the regular .3 and 4, just being synthetic. But the only difference in 3 and 4, as I understand it, is heat properties. The 4 tolerates heat better than 3. Is that what you?
I've never even found .4. It's always either .3 or say .3/.4. It shows both on some of the cans.
I've used .4 in a lot of my cars. It's mainly because it says it's good to 500 degrees. It works better with heat.
Yeah.
I
read an article years ago where they said that Herod's car museum out in Vegas, they switched all their cars from .3 to .5 silicon. They said it was the biggest money-saving thing they ever did because they used to have a crew. Their full-time job was to bleed the brakes in every car and put new .3 fluid in them. By the time they got done with every car, it was time to start over again. So then they said they've switched all their cars to .5 and they don't touch them anymore. And so that's.
Well, I kind of did that. I kind of did that on my El Camino. I went from .4 to .5 just by bleeding everything real good and getting all the 4 out of there, and I put 5 in there. But apparently I didn't get all the 4 out because that caused me problems. I ended up having to replace the wheel cylinders and stuff. So if you're going to use silicone, you might want to consider just going ahead and putting a whole new, changing all your cylinders and put it all in, start new, and then change it would probably be better thing.
Yeah, you probably ought to make sure it's clean. I've heard you could do it without doing that, but I've never tried it.
It doesn't mix. I know that. It doesn't mix.
I know it doesn't mix. That's
Sounds like some good feedback. Is there any other open forums?
Yes, it's not a tech question. I managed to put my membership directory in a very safe spot that I can't find now. Do we have more membership directories available?
It's very easy for you to get a new one. All you need is to go into the website.
Yeah.
Go to the Club Garage. And then the Club Garage is called, and when you go in, you scroll down and you will find the membership directory and you can click on it. It's a PDF and you can print it.
Very good.
It'll just be 8.5 by 11. The newest members are not on there, but it's updated as of, I think, July.
One moment, I can tell you for sure.
Okay, I try to do it twice a year. But it's right there for anybody who ever needs it. July, yeah. So if you want one in a booklet form, you'd have to either wait till a meeting or pay to have it mailed, but it's all there. You can print it.
All right, thank you, Jeanette. Appreciate that.
No problem, no problem.
Also,
I know that it's an old member, but I know most of y'all remember Tom and Sharon Parker. Been in the club for a long time.
Yep.
And Sharon passed away last week.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Sad situation. She was sick for a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I missed Tom and Sharon.
Yeah. Thank you.
That is unfortunate.
It was Gail Fricker's birthday this week, so.
Yeah, yesterday, wasn't it?
Sure. Happy birthday. Yep.
Yesterday on National Corvair Drive Your Corvair Day. So
perfect.
Yep. Is there anything else that anybody wants to discuss, ask questions, anything at all?
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm on the via phone. In Dallas area, I've got redoing a 65 convertible. I have the top parts and seeing if anybody had any recommendations for convertible top installers in the Dallas area.
So you're looking for anyone who can install recommendations for anyone to install a Corvair top.
That's right.
Mr. Dobie,
That's
you
right.
had a recommendation.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people have had them installed over at Preston's Upholstery, which is on 6th Street there in Irving, which is about, what, 2 or 3 blocks from where we meet, when we meet at just right there where you turn on, I think it's 6th Street, where you turn to come down to the meeting on Center. It's right there on the corner. And I know he put one on, he didn't do mine, but he did one for Tom Prickering. I thought he did a nice job. And I think he's done a few others. But
what was that name again?
Preston's. Preston, and it's in Preston's Upholstery. It's in Irving.
Yep. West 6th Street.
Yeah, 6th Street. Yeah, I've had him do upholstery work for me, and he did a good job. I've never had to do a top, but I thought Tom Stock looked real good as he did.
105 West 6th Street.
Perfect, man. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Preston's Automotive Upholstery. Yeah.
All right. Is there anybody else with any questions or comments or concerns? Yes, we are trying to broaden our audience. So we will be posting these videos on our website and on our YouTube channel for anyone to see. Yes, Corbin.
You know, I just like to take a minute to thank Robert for the last weekend. We had a great time up there in Oklahoma. It was a lot of fun. The weather was beautiful. You should have been with us. The hamburgers were good. The walking in the woods was good. It was a good day.
We did have a really good time, and we really did miss everybody that wasn't there too.
Yeah.
Yes, you had gorgeous weather.
Yes, it was perfect.
Perfect.
We've been really lucky with the weather this month and last month.
And we saw a beautiful day to drive to a meeting and have our cars in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
We went over a Red River Bridge that probably nobody had ever seen before.
Right.
We took the back roads all the way up, but it was fun.
I know I'd never seen it before because the water was not red. The water was actually a greenish color. You don't very see the Red River in Oklahoma.
I think they're building a new bridge there, but they still got the old steel covered bridge.
Yeah. Good trip. Good day.
That's awesome. Anybody have anything they want to talk about, bring up? Doesn't look like it. So we will go ahead and break for about 7 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start the program back up at 3 o'clock if that's done.
All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to look at simply, how to sell your car, where to go and buy a car from, and they kind of go hand in hand, especially with things going more online today. Being able to reach a wider audience and stuff like that. So as everyone knows, I've been looking for an engine, and I've been going on and more often and actually looking for sales ads, Corvair, seeing what's out there. And I've ran across so many of them that are just bad. And really what makes an ad bad is really simple stuff. Very lack of detail, and also no pictures, or one or maybe two pictures. One that really caught my attention, hold on one second, let's see. Okay, so one of them that really caught my attention was this ad right here. If you look at the seller's description of the ad itself, which I've got to see if I can, there we are. It claps everybody there. All they say is the good project car comes with everything, needs to be put together. Well, that doesn't, tell me what they've done, what condition the car was in whenever they first got it. Does the engine even run? Does it even come with an engine? And things like that. I mean, it does say it comes with everything, but what do they consider everything? So it's just, and this one only has 2 photos, and it's the same photo twice. So it doesn't show you the other side of the car. It doesn't show you the front or the back. It doesn't show you the inside or anything else. So, like I said, this is an example of a really bad one. This one here, is an example of a good one that I found. And I pulled both of these off of Facebook, which we'll get to that in a minute. But this was really good. They give you exactly everything that's been done with it. They give you multiple photos, inside, outside, front, back, sides. And they actually even give a few underneath photos, which a lot of people forget to add or don't add. So that's, this is a really good one. They tell you exactly everything, rebuilt motor generator, new turbo, all of it. So, I mean, this one's good. What I would say for the person who's selling their car, when you go and you put it, especially on Facebook, be ready for a lot of stupid questions. Unfortunately, you're going to get them. It doesn't matter if you have everything listed, someone's still going to go, oh, does it new belt, or something like that. It's just because people don't read all the way through. But by you listing everything, it cuts down a lot on the stupid questions that you get. I've had people where, like, I've asked them, what size engine's in the car, and they're just like, I don't know, or why are you asking that question? It doesn't really matter. I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm just asking a simple question, So it's easy to get frustrated when you're trying to sell something online because of all those questions, but you shouldn't get frustrated. So several places that you can go to buy and sell, and we're going to go through those real quick. Let's open this up here. All right, so one of them is Facebook Marketplace, which all you have to do when you come up on your screen for Facebook, you just come over to this little icon, click on it, and you get this wonderful screen. And then from there, you can actually search. And then it will pull up anything that's close to Corvair. It'll pull up stuff that's not, but it will also go through and tell you that, hey, this is outside of your search range, but you might be interested in it. So I believe, so this one's is actually a good ad as well. They say it quite a bit. And it doesn't need a whole lot.
They spelled Corvair wrong.
They did spell Corvair wrong. But the good thing is that it comes with tons and tons of pictures. I'm not sure what happened to this seat here, but that's a whole nother discussion. But they give, wonderful pictures throughout the entire thing. Where this one's just, what they've pulled up on guides, which is a good thing to have, I guess. So, I mean, they give all those. They don't give any underneath, which, we wish they would. Things like that. And then this one is actually a showroom like the one that we went to last year. So, of course, they're going to give every and any photo they can think of for theirs. Up, down, inside, out, underneath, everything. And they're going to give a better description. So Facebook Marketplace is, like I said, it's a really good one. You will get a lot of questions from it, whereas some of these other websites and places that I'm about to show you, you won't. Let me see here.
Has anybody bought a car off of Facebook Marketplace?
I've actually, I have actually myself. The red one that I got it from Facebook Marketplace.
They charge you to list a car there?
Depending on what it is that you're like exactly how many photos and stuff that you add to it, they can, but they give you up to a certain amount before they do. I've never been charged anytime I've ever put anything up there, car or not. So then there's also really good places. Can you all see that screen with its Corsa? Okay, perfect. So of course Corsa has their own, which is nothing but Corvairs and parts and stuff like that. So I mean, this one here is the place to go, I would say, hands down, for anything Corvair. I would start here before going anywhere else. Another good place to go is Bring a Trailer. Bring a Trailer has...
Going back to Corsa for just a second. Many of you get the Corsa magazine, the, what's that called again?
The Communicate.
And in the back, you know, they have the ads listed. And most times those ads that are listed in the back of the magazine are also here online. But more is online than in the magazine. And it's more current too.
Mm-hmm.
And Clark's has also got a place too.
They do as well. Didn't pull that up. You can really quick. Let's see. There we go. And then that they actually break it down by years, so that's even better, you know. And they even tell you how to place a ad on their website. So they're pretty good to go through too. I've looked at some of their stuff as well. I'm not sure how up to date they keep the stuff. That is one thing that I would say that you would probably run into with Clark's. So, and then there's, you know, Bring a Trailer, which, you know, is more of a auction type site. I know Ray has used it before for a few things, but they have a few Corvairs on here as well. There was one that sold not too long ago for quite a bit of money. I heard people talking about that.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we learned, Ray and I helped a gentleman, the one with the early model, the 62, 63, that we helped him sell, and he was selling another car. He was selling an older Chevy pickup truck. And Ray told him to put it on Bring a Trailer. What we didn't realize is you have to be basically invited.
Vetted. You have to be vetted.
You have to be vetted. So they don't allow just any car to be put on Bring a Trailer. They examine it. They put him through the ringer. And he did not get approved to post his truck on Bring a Trailer. So they have some criteria they use. So this is, I guess, some best of the best that they get, that they post out here.
Yeah. So, and you know, some of them come with no reserve like this one. Some of them do. Some of them, they even show you how much they sold for. So, I mean, even going on here just to get kind of an idea of what your car would be worth is actually, you know, not a bad idea. Of course, you know, you need to really compare the car that you're looking at to, you know, the condition of your car and everything else. So this is a really good website. I've looked at quite a few of the cars and stuff that are on there just to look and see what's there. Of course, another really good one is Hemmings itself. They have quite a few Corvairs on there as well. me get to it, sorry. And they even have it labeled as Corsa. They've got the Greenbrier. I don't see where they have the ramp side, but it might be just lower. They even have parts where you can just put in all listing and you can see everything that they have. And this is just showing everything that's Chevy. This isn't just Corvair. But let's, there we go. So this is everything that's just Corvair right here. So, and they give plenty of pictures. Some of them give only one, which yet again, like I said, not the best thing to do. You almost can't go overboard in the amount of photos that you give. The few things you can go overboard is some of the information that you give, but giving more than is needed is much better than giving less than what's needed. When you put a car up, and I've actually seen like one or two. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I went and looked at a car. We don't know what price we want for it. It's all there. The body's in good shape. And one photo. You know, normally I wouldn't even go look at that car just because I don't know anything else about the car. Don't know what condition that car's in, even if it's worth my time to go and look. You know, they don't know what price they want. So by the time you get out there and you start negotiating price, it's not even what they're looking for. And, you know, it's a big headache for the seller and the buyer, which really doesn't need to be there.
Jason, open that RAM side. I'm curious. 50,000.
I thought, yeah.
It's a dealer. Okay. Elkhart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a dealer right there.
Mm-hmm.
But they give really good photos. The only thing that I don't see that they give is any of the underneath.
$50,000 for that engine, huh?
Yeah, right? So, I mean, and you also have to think about it. I mean, if you're going to sell a car, try and clean it up a little bit. You know, don't have it just be a dirt caked car, you know.
Maybe spray it with some of that plastic coat that
right. But see, that's the other thing. I mean, putting just a little bit of time in to clean up the car, make it look presentable. I don't know what just happened. That's all right. We'll go back. But you know, you want to clean up the car. You want to make it presentable. You want to make it look good. The better that you can make the car look, the faster you're going to sell the car. Because the more interest you're going to get into that car. And yet again, the car that I went and looked at, that the owner didn't even know exactly how much they wanted for it and stuff like that. I got there, the car was already torn apart because they started the restoration on it, which was in the photos. I saw that, no big deal. But I got there, inside the car that's been supposedly sitting in their garage is nothing but acorns inside the car. There's rat poop inside the car. There's leaves inside the car and everything else. And I'm just sitting here going, okay, I kind of already ready just to walk away, you know, because if there's rat poop in the car, they probably chewed the wires, which he said they had. You know, which changing out a wire harness on most of these cars isn't a big deal. But still, at least clean up the car, make it presentable, make it look good, and you'll sell the car a lot faster. Is there any other like websites that other people use or have used? Asking you guys.
eBay.
Yeah, eBay's a good one as well. Anywhere else that anyone else knows of?
Have you read the article this month in the communique about what it's worth?
I haven't yet. I was hoping to get to it before this, but I hadn't had a chance. But I would say go and read that one.
He goes to a lot of areas like auctions and things like that to tell you about. He's got the lows and the highs. But one sentence, he's got one thing he says in here which makes a lot of sense. It says, but considering all relevant factors, the Corvair or any item is generally worth only what a knowledgeable buyer will pay.
Absolutely.
So you may think yours is worth $30,000, but if you don't find somebody that's got $30,000 and interested, you got a little second thoughts on that.
Well, that's true. That's true of anything that's put for sale. But I firmly believe, because I see them on Facebook all the time. I follow Corvair Trader and all these different sites. And most importantly, you look at the ad that or what people put out there that they want, they're going to sell, and then read the comments. And I believe Corvair people undervalue their cars, especially people who've been around them a long time. There's so many people that someone will say they want, let's say, $15,000 for a car. And they feel inclined to make a Facebook comment and say, oh, I remember when I could get one of these cars for $3,000 back in 1975, right? So there's a huge population of Corvair people on these ads that just suck the energy out of selling a beautiful car. And so over and over I see, and Ray sees on Corvair Trader, which has Bring a Trailer, which has a broader group of people interested in cars, the prices seem to be higher there.
The only thing is, I'm getting a premium price on Bring a Trailer is there was a Corsa, a beautiful Corsa. I mean, it looked like a 92 plus car. In other words, it presented itself really nice, and that car appealed to more than just Corvair folks. So it has a much wider audience. I mean, if you bring a piece of junk and put it on Bring a Trailer, you're only gonna get $4,000 for a rusted out mess underneath. So just like anything else, it's like a lot of folks here don't know what it costs to put a car together nowadays, and pretty much cheaper to just buy it already done.
Long-term Corvair people just really will always, I mean, it's kind of depressing to read some of the comments that people put out there because they've got such an attitude about the olden days. But I think to your point too, Corbin, is there are people who buy one and then they put all this money in and they want to get everything back they put in it. So I think the article really gets to, there's a whole dose of love that goes in these cars that you're not going to get compensated for. I mean, it's not a dollar for dollar trade up or payment here that you can get back on these cars. And I think he touches on that in that article.
You remember when Jay Leno said on his Ram side, he said, man, he said, these things are great. He said, you can pick one up for a couple $1,000. Only spend $50,000 restoring it, and then you'll have a $10,000 car.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and like Jeanette said, it's with anything. I mean, I collect pinball machines and stuff like that. I mean, same thing. I can pick up a pinball machine and turn around, fix it up, and make it look like it just came off of the factory floor. Turn around, try and sell it. I'm not going to get what I put into it. I already know that. But you can get quite a bit of your money back. Just you're never going to get all of it though. So, and speaking of Corvair traders, that is one I was going to show you on Facebook. So I've actually got it pulled up real quick. So this is a Facebook group and it's Corvair Trader, and they have tons and tons and tons of different Corvairs that are for sale all around, parts, things like that, and they tons and tons. So if you ever need anything, you can always normally come here. You can find it. There's been a few that have been on ours. There's not quite that many that's been on ours, but there's been some. But you've got this. You got Corvair Parts. You've got one or two others groups, Facebook groups that are out there that you can almost find anything you need. Of course, it might be halfway across the country, but that's going to be one of the things you're going to have to kind of figure out and live with if you're going to go with Facebook and stuff like that. Now, of course, Craigslist is
Trader whoever runs it is kind of an aggregator. So if you go out there, they'll take the ads from lots of different places, especially like Craigslist. They'll put a lot of the ads from Craigslist there. They'll pull ads. If someone puts an ad on, let's say, Corvair Owners Group, they'll pull it into Corvair Trader. So it's kind of like, to me, I think it's kind of a one-stop shop.
Yeah. And I was, of course, Craigslist is out there. A lot of people are not using it as much as they are, but you can still put it out there because it still gets you some kind of an audience. But if you really want to sell a car, post it in as many places as possible. So do whatever, type up what you want, save it somewhere, copy paste is going to be your friend for doing anything online. Because once you get it pretty much down to one thing, your description of how you want it to be said, you can just copy paste that in there, put your photos, and move on to the next one. But your best bet's going to be to put ads in on several different places so that you get a good wide audience.
And I think the one thing I like about Corvair Trader and Corvair Trading is sometimes you come across a unique part that someone's looking for. Like let's say, for example, a 1967 Corvair dash pad, and I had someone from Missouri that was looking for one. The only problem, this guy didn't do Facebook. So it was Greg Riley in Houston that was partying out of 67, and I happened to come across it. I introduced him. I gave him each other, give him his phone number, and hopefully they made a deal. But you can find all kinds of hard to find things sometimes just fall in your lap where you're like, oh, that's so-and-so looking for this. I know, get a hold of them. So, you'd be surprised what you can find out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I found several engines that way. I found some in Kansas City that if it wasn't so far away, I probably would have gotten, I found one down close to Houston that I almost went down to look at. I've been finding some. It's just not been really what I'm looking for, per se. So, good places to find parts, good places to find other cars, things like that. Like I said, the biggest thing with especially just selling, good description, good photos.
Well, that's one of the things Jason and I think I mentioned that in the article I wrote for the newsletter, is we get people sending in to either the website or they'll post it on our Facebook page that, they've got their car, their dad's car, their uncle's car, and, what do you guys think this is worth? And they put like 2 pictures. So I have a response that it's pretty much my standard canned response that when we get them, either Jason and I will write back. And it's basically, you need a lot of pictures. We need to see the engine, the undercarriage, we need the body tag, we need the VIN tag, all these things that you need to have. And then the hard part is some of these people, they're asking for what they're worth, but you just don't know how motivated a seller is. So if it's a granddaughter selling grandpa's car and it's been in a barn for 30 years and they don't know anything about it, it hasn't been started, and they just got to clean out that barn, be a motivated seller and get it off your hands and price it right. But speaking from the NTCA mailbox or Facebook page, we're just not going to price people's cars. We're basically telling people how they can go price it. Because it's hard to know with some of these barn finds what kind of condition they're in. So
Yeah, exactly.
we get a lot of people asking.
Car is worth more than the car.
Most times.
So, but any other places that anybody else knows that it's a good place to go and find and or sell cars?
Mike Dobie, he always finds something.
So Mike Dobie is a good place to go?
Absolutely.
He'll always find a car.
He'll find you a car, and he'll just say his words to come out. It's like, oh, you have to have this car.
I'll also add that for those of you who like, who are on Facebook and all the different Corvair sites, many people put out there that they're looking for something, looking for a car to restore, and I'm looking for a ramp side, and they tell the kind of condition they're interested in, the price, and that's how they find them. Because you'll see a lot of times the comments will say, I'll message you. They know where one is, and they'll reach out. So it's the community out on Facebook. If you're not inclined to use Facebook, but you are interested in Corvairs, that's the place to be now. Certainly the Corsa site is a really valuable site because most times the cars that are out there, the descriptions are pretty darn honest. And as I said in the beginning, Ray, I don't think a day goes by that he doesn't say, man, people are really selling some nice cars out there. So
yeah. So anything else anybody else wants to throw in?
Oil's on. How are you?
Raise your hand.
I was unfortunately out working on the shed. Is my volume on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on the shed, and Jennifer pointed out this is Saturday. Oops.
So?
All right. It's every day.
I know. You work from home, and all of a sudden the days just blur.
All the days go together.
Anyway, no, I did see your ad reminding us a couple days ago, and I got caught up in putting the walls up on my shop, and next thing you know is it's 3:30.
Yeah, no big deal.
On our there's a
hand up. I didn't want to get into the conversation real quick, but Karen and I went and looked at a late model convertible earlier this week, and the seller said he didn't have a title. So, yeah, flag number one.
Grandma has it.
So I looked into getting a bonded title. It looked possible, so I went and looked at the car. First thing I noticed about the car, it also didn't have a VIN plate or a data plate on it.
Oh my!
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Beautiful car, completely disassembled. According to the gentleman and his wife, that it was here we go with the story. It was a family car since brand new. It's never been titled in Texas.
Grandma has the title.
Grandma may have the title.
Or anywhere.
It was in Keller.
Yeah, it's the same one I went and looked at.
Oh, you did?
Grandma has the title.
Possibly.
Grandkids can order. They can order a duplicate title. That's not
$3. $2.
If
Burgundy car.
Yeah.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah.
140.
He's got a lot of parts for it, but he's not motivated to sell it at all.
Yeah, no. I whenever I talk to him, that's the first thing I knew. I was like, yeah, no, he's not motivated. I'm like, moving on.
Yeah.
Title's not the problem if there's no VIN plate on it. Good grief.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
Did they have a price?
Yeah, I got a price from him.
Oh, you did finally?
Yeah.
What
He wanted 2,000 for it, or he said 2,000-ish.
Oh,
And it would be worth buying for the parts.
yeah, sounds like a parts car.
Yeah. See, he told me about 2,000, and I brought that up to him. He's like, well, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. He told me the VIN plate's probably in one of the boxes of parts. And I told him I'd come over and go through the boxes with him. But
I mean,
it was his high school car. He's not motivated to sell that thing at all. So
yeah, but
I told him he could join our group.
Yeah. And that car was actually in really good shape. Like
Oh, yeah.
overall, it really was in good shape.
I don't know if you crawled under it, but there's no rust anywhere.
There isn't, no. I did notice, however, that it's missing the sheet metal for the air vents for the manifolds.
Oh.
As disassembled as that car was, though, I bet he has.
What was it?
It was a 66 Corsa convertible.
60 what?
66 Corsa convertible.
Oh, wow.
140?
Yeah. With an extra engine.
Why would you take the VIN plate and the data plate off?
To polish them.
Okay.
I said to paint. I think they painted the car and took them off, so they didn't overpaint them.
I don't know.
But they usually have special rivets or whatever, right? So so you can't just take them off and stick them back on. It's going to be obvious.
Listen, they knew what to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to own one of those rivets by federal law.
Right.
By federal law, the only person that can own a rosette rivet is a car manufacturer. So I guess if you had one of those little rosette rivets laying on your nightstand, the cops could come in there and arrest you.
Yeah, there's another Corsa on Facebook that I noticed the VIN plate was held on with screws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
You'd almost have to look for the hidden VIN on the car and make sure that that's really the right VIN and that plate hasn't been switched.
And from what I've read, that hidden VIN on a late model is not even the whole VIN number. It's just
probably just the sequence number.
Yeah.
The last 6 or whatever. Yeah.
You can do bonded titles, and then you can also do a registration in Vermont or in
Alabama.
Nevada, and eventually work your way to a title. I did a lot of investigation on this when we could not find the title for the Fiat that he's been restoring. And I thought we were going to have to go one of those routes, but I actually, Ray is not a very organized email guy. And
I keep everything, okay?
he keeps everything, which was good, because he kept a copy of the title that the owner had sent him in an email, a picture. And so through the miracle of Google, I could track down the guy he bought it from 10 years ago. And the guy called back, and I explained what the situation was and asked him if he could order a duplicate title in California, and did all the work for him, just sent him all the links, and the guy did it, and I paid for the overnight and paid him to do it, so we finally got the title. But we have plates. We have a title and a plate. The car doesn't run yet, but it's all ready and insured. So, but it took some investigation to find the guy, but he was really nice, and but we were lucky. And our 64, when we bought it, the title had never been transferred. It had been moved to 5 different owners, never been transferred. And so back then we could use a title washer in Alabama to we used to get a title.
Yeah, this gentleman has said the car had been previously titled in Alabama as well. So a lot of flags being thrown.
Yeah.
Has anybody gone through the bonded title thing in Texas and how difficult that is, especially on an older vehicle? No.
From what I read, it's not hard. You just have to let it bond, I think, for 3 years. It's not, in Texas, it's not expensive. In Illinois, it's expensive. They hold your money for a long time. In 5 years in Illinois.
I did notice that if it hasn't been registered in Texas, there's even more steps you have to take.
Yeah, there are.
I know there used to be, and I haven't looked long, but it used to be advertised in like Hemmings. They would advertise title services.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore?
A lot of them don't do that anymore after 9/11. But if you go online and look at how to get a title through Vermont.
Yeah, that works.
And it does work, yes.
That works. My My grandson just bought a car, and the guy that owned it died about 14 or 15 years ago. And the car is over 20 years old, you can get a certificate of ownership in Vermont, and they'll license it. And he's got the car licensed now in Vermont legally. And the certificate of ownership from Vermont, you just have to turn over to the state of Texas and they'll give you a title. Just did that within the last 30 days.
I think Nevada is similar, but
Yeah.
Vermont is the one I've read the most about.
You have to pay Vermont, of course, the sales tax and the title and the fee for the plates. That's it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
So, all right, lots of information.
Jeanette, just as a reminder to Mike Boyle, you are recording this so he can go back and look at it.
Yes, I am.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
I'm sure he's going to want to do that as soon as we hang up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he won't be able to as soon as we hang up, but he can soon.
Oh, you can just put your earbuds in and listen to it, you know, all our wonderful voices.
I can do that because I'm so beat from working outside since dark 30 this morning. I want to take a break and just sit in a nice comfy chair in the dark room or in the front room, and I can watch it.
Well, it'll be later in the week.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's no help.
All righty. If there is nothing else, guys, we will go ahead and we will stop here, and we'll give back the rest of the day to everyone.
Happy shopping.
Have a lot of good information.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
All the fun we can stand one day.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
See y'all later. Now that you have your cars.
All right.